Hey guys, so if I look a little like greasy or whatever, I'm just sitting out here and I've been spraying myself down with water and stuff, and it's a little on the warm and humid side right now. But yeah, I was again getting a prompt to just turn my camera on and just talk about how there's been a switch that's happened again lately. Now, again, time's not linear and all this stuff can happen at any now. Um, with that being said, I so again, just as a preface, I do speak from a very, very, very zoomed out perspective of like understanding that the real truth of everything is we are one and everything is love and yada yada yada. There's only one real frequency, which is love, source, all that. I am playing pretend within a deep rabbit hole of illusion of different frequencies, and I'm working my way up the ladder to the only one real frequency that there is. Um, and so, with that being said, there's been another switch that has happened lately, and I've just been in myself, and there's been so many people that I've talked to, even people who in my illusion perception aren't into this stuff, has reached out to me being like, what's going on lately, because like everyone I know is not doing well. So there's been a really strong wave that's been surfacing lately. Even just in the past few days, I've had several people reach out to me where they themselves or loved ones have transitioned themselves home, loss of friendships, you know strong illnesses kicking in, through themselves, loved ones, animals, um, big lessons on facing our illusion of loss and grief, and the illusion of death, and big lessons on working on detachment, to the characters in our lives and to our illusions, to what this is. Not saying we're not to fully embrace it and be in a place of childlike wonder and awe and enjoy every now that this brings. It's just there is that level of working on detachment from it. And so there's been a very, very, very strong wave that's been happening in this past month or so. And I can feel I'm finally starting to be on the other side of it. And I can feel there's probably more waves within me that I'm going to have to work through. That being said, you know, there's this. Sorry, hang on. So with that being said, there's this whole. Sorry. With that being said, being on the other side of this wave, I've seen and felt switches before, but this one is a really, really strong one. It is the place of common neutrality that I am in right now is like mind blowing. I have never been able to be in this space from again, this is me talking. I'm not slamming it for other people. If this is what you're being called to and if it works for you, go for it. I will never say different. For me personally, I've never experienced this through medication, or through regular therapy, being in and out of the hospital, all that stuff. It's been dedication to really going within and doing this self work of, letting myself fully feel what I'm feeling. Like I have let myself rage and have full on breakdowns and temper tantrums with spirit because I don't let myself resist and hold back those feelings anymore. And then when I'm ready and able to, and I'm getting better at actually doing it through feeling those things, where I sit there and I name the emotion, I name the thought, then I, surrender that to spirit, source, and then I sit with truth. And then I repeat and I repeat as often as I need to and as I'm able to. And it's been difficult because I've been in a space of not necessarily seeing instant results from it. And that's where, take, dedication to the work and holding on to faith, knowing that this stuff does work, kicks in. But now, especially on this other side of this wave, oh my God, it's like this stuff is instantaneous. Thus far, the past several days to almost a week, it has been, considering some of the stuff I have gone through, normally where I would have been even a year ago, especially several years ago, I would have been in complete, absolute shutdown, breakdown modes. Really not okay. Probably indulging in some behaviors that are within illusion judgment, not healthy or safe. As I've said before, I think in one of my other videos, definitely one of my posts I made recently on Facebook and whatnot, feeling like my entire world is crashing around me. I used to go through that. I haven't felt that at all. Considering what I'm going through, the fact that I'm actually in a place, for the most part, a place of calm and neutrality, like it's just, I'm just calm and I'm neutral, and it is what it is. I have had my moments where I've had breakdowns, and I do start to spin into, I can't do this, and what am I going to do? And but it's within moments, it's just taken out of me, and it's just not there. It's just that it's this whole level of, I'm having such a hard time explaining it. Again, I'm asking for help with my words from spirit source. There really is this switch that has taken place recently, and it's really exciting, and I'm really thankful for it, because it's just, I've been noticing and feeling it through just what I'm experiencing myself. And then I've seen other people, especially in the past couple days, talking about this, which is confirmation for me, which I'm working on not needing external confirmation and whatnot. That being said, it is nice to see that external confirmation on seeing other people talking about this and how they're experiencing it, and things are picking up and getting stronger. And so it really is, I know how the world can look. I still have my moments where I question it, and I look at it, I'm like, when I step outside my own little personal bubble, I go, what the fuck? But then I I have moments where I might struggle with doing it right away, but I always circle around to doing my self work on that. And it really is leading me into a place of just being calm and neutral. And you have moments where you can see and feel that this is just a dream, and it can feel kind of trippy, and the trippy feeling kicks in because of the resistance. And I'm getting this hit of, yeah, this feels really powerful. That just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, where you really do see and feel this is just a dream. It's funny because people want to lucid dream. I know I've wanted to have really strong lucid dreams and I've had very strong dreams, and even where it's that lucid state, but not on the level that I'm really wanting it to be. And it's what the joke is that's exactly what this is. This is like the most lucid dream we could ever be in. And another joke of it is how we're trying so hard to make, really, really advanced virtual reality games and whatnot. And this is the most, with, again, metaphor words, but a really good way to explain this. This is the most highly advanced virtual reality game. In truth, are we actually these humans sitting up in the sky playing video games with VR helmets on? No, that's not what it actually is. It's just a really good way to explain what this is without being able to explain it, because there's not really human words, which is where telepathy is wonderful, and that's kicking in, but we're not we don't have it fully online yet. Technically, in truth, we do, but we're playing like we don't. So yeah, guys, this stuff is real, and it's getting stronger. And again, this is why I do talk about, it's really important to remember everything is just yourself that you've projected outward, and it's reflecting back in a metaphor, and it's going to reflect either where you're clinging onto illegal illusion, ego, shadow, untruth, your own made up false evidence appearing real, or it's going to be reflecting where you're allowing truth, love, source, spirit, energy, unity, thy will, Christ-like consciousness online. So it's because it really is, there is no other, it's just you. A friend of mine, I just shared a post she made onto my Facebook group, and she just talked about how she just had a really strong experience where she was shown and told, and she knew this stuff, but she got really strongly shown and told about how, it really is everything you're seeing outside yourself is all you. It's all versions of yourself that you're allowing to play, because it's all just you. There is no other. Now, when I have experienced and felt it, when you tap into what we truly are, source, the oneness, there is something to be said about how you you really don't feel alone. Even though we're all one, you're not actually alone as one. It's I know it's contradictory, and it might not make sense, but those who've tapped into it know what I'm talking about. It really is this level of, you can feel you're not alone. And the love is just so big, and you're just, fuck, sorry. My heel just got tickled. Which is strong physical confirmation what I'm saying. So yeah, the love is just, it's so big, and you're just held by like everything, and you can feel everything holding you and loving you. But yeah, it's just it's so it's not, because I have been in that space of, well, if we're just one, then that must be really lonely. But it's not. I don't understand how it works, but it's not that. It really is. It's just, we're one, but it's not lonely. I don't know how else to explain other than that. And this is kicking online stronger and stronger and stronger. So yeah, there's definitely a switch that has happened. I mean, even last night, when I got into bed and I was trying to connect with spirit, I got into a place of really strong anxiety, really strong anxiety. And hang on one second. Dog's foot was stuck on a leash. I'm looking after my friend's dog. Hang on. Anyway, so last night I ended up in a place of really strong anxiety, and I was looping and spinning, and I was like, okay. And I, started doing my self work. I started reminding myself, I'm not my emotions. I'm having anxiety because I'm believing lies from ego. And, I was doing my shadow work, like talking about what I'm feeling and what the thoughts are going along with that, and surrendering that to spirit, and sitting with a place of truth, and giving myself the reminders of what this all is. And I said to myself, be the neutral observer of this, be the neutral observer. And I was in a visual where it was like I was in the center of like what looked like similar to like a tornado, and the center where I was just white light, and that was me, and I was in the center. And it took a few moments, but I eventually, because at first I'm in the center and I'm feeling all the anxieties, I'm seeing it swirling around me, and then it took a few moments as I'm telling myself, be the neutral observer, be the neutral observer. I'm not my emotions, it's lies from ego, and just be the neutral observer. And all of a sudden, it was just like, it was removed from me. I no longer felt it. I was just seeing it swirling around me. And then I was able to lift it up above me. And it was like more, instead of like a long tornado type thing, it was more in like the form of like a donut. So like instead of long and tall, it was more like, instead of like that, it was more like that with like the center. But it was above me. And then I was able to push it away off into the light, because then at that point I'm just surrounded by nothing but light, and I just push it off into the distance, and it melts into the light. And I was laying there, and I felt so calm and so neutral and so at peace, no feeling of anxiety. And I was just like, holy shit. And I turned to Eric, Archangel Uriel, and Spirit Source, and I was just like, oh my god, that worked. And it was instant. Holy crap, it was so cool. Like, my words are so small and so shit. Like, again, this is where I wish telepathy was online, because I would love to just like share with you guys the extremeness from how strong the anxiety was, and what the visual was like, and how quickly it was just gone. And the difference is, again, as I've said very recently in, I think maybe even both my videos I've done recently, about, again, speaking for me, not slamming it for anybody else, for me, when I've been on meds, it's like it builds a ceiling up right in here in my chest, and all my upset, all my sadness, all my anxiety, it's still within myself, and it's just building up and building up and building up to the point where it's coming up here because it wants to release, but then it's blocked and I'm not able to actually release and cry, and it fucking hurts. Whereas with this, I feel it fully, I release it, and then I do my work, and it's just not there anymore. And you can feel it's not there. It's gone. It just doesn't exist. And actually segueing off of that, you know, if you are going through illusion of loss of in any way, you know, particularly if it comes down to, I'm hyper focused in on when it comes to you know, losing friends or family, as in they're walking away or cutting you off, or whatnot, you know, especially particularly if you're, you know, awake and aware and you're working on this stuff and this is what your life is, and they're in a space of, you know, they don't want anything to do with you because you're deemed crazy or dangerous or too extreme or whatever. Not that it's, if you're doing the work and you're blasting up, you're not going to be dangerous. It's when you blast up and you don't put in the self work, that's where things like psychosis and needing to be hospitalized and all that kicks in. So I'm not talking on that level. I'm talking when you're putting the work and you're blasting up and this is just what your life is and you're in a healthy balance. You know what the truth is, but you also understand you're playing with illusion. So you don't go to extremes. You know what the truth is. You work on that, but then you're still, you know, you're still playing and living like a human in certain limitations, illusion of limitations. So you work with that. So I'm talking about that. Just remember, again, first of all, they're characters playing that you're asking. They're characters that are energies playing that you're asking it to. And the truth is we are coming into unity and we're not actually even separated. And their perceptions are, again, your projected out perceptions that are being reflected back at you in one way or the other, and it's metaphors. So with that all being said, that preface there, there is something within this layer of illusion that we're playing with where we're working our way up out of this rabbit hole. There is a way that we play that the characters that don't align with where we're at with playing pretend of climbing up this rabbit hole and back into truth, they're going to fall away because there's just not space for that kind of resistance. If they're resistant to it, they don't want to hear about it, they don't want to indulge in it, they don't want to know about it. There's not space for that resistance there. They're reflecting the resistance you're still clinging on to, and that's a huge gift, and we honor and thank them for that. And remembering what it actually is, that they are, no one gets left behind or forgotten. We are one, and they're one with us, and they're coming up with us. In fact, it's not even before us or after us. It's all happening simultaneously because time's not actually linear, and this isn't even actually happening. But with how we're playing pretend, if they are in a place of resistance, they don't want anything to do with this and whatnot, there is going to be a space where if you're seeing them falling away from your reality in one way or the other, reality, dream, simulation, one way or the other, it's because there's not room for that there. It's not that you're not going to see them again, and you're not necessarily going to be in unity with them, because that's the truth of what we are. And it might even just be for a blipped moment. God knows, it might only be for a few days, or maybe it'll be for a few months, or maybe it'll be until God knows how long, and we come into unity, and however that looks. The point is try to remember, as much as it can be in the illusion of painful, try to remember it's happening because you're putting in the self-work, you're accepting truth, and there's not place for that resistance anymore. So anything that's reflecting that resistance is going to just dissipate because it just doesn't exist. There's no room for it. There's just no room for it. It just doesn't exist. And the metaphors that reflect that as you step into a place where it doesn't exist are, hang on one second. And right there was a reflection of my resistance. I'm, you know, that right there is resistance, and reflection of my resistance and my insecurity. That was a metaphor of my insecurity and my resistance coming out of my speaking like this because of fear of judgment of what people are going to think or whatever. So, and resistance to what I am saying. I still play with it, and that's a metaphor of that. So just remember that everything is a metaphor. We are coming into unity. No one gets left behind or forgotten. If you're noticing things falling away from you, It's for a good reason. Everything is happening the way it's meant to, and it is for all's highest good. And there is a switch that has and is taking place right now. It's not limited to certain nows, certain times, certain days. You know, it's again, there's only one real reality that we're always in. We're just playing pretend that we're not. And these are all metaphors of us putting the work in and climbing ourselves out of this pretend rabbit hole. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And so if you're going through it in any way, keep on keeping on, keep trying, keep doing it. Because I promise this work, this self work, it does work. And it does come to a place where it happens instantaneously. This is stuff I need to remember and anchor onto, especially if I end up in another wave like I've been in. But man, it is worth it. You can remember that it is worth it when you go through these waves. On the other side, each time you go through a wave, on the other side, the real reality, the love, the peace, the calmness, the neutrality, it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. It's worth it, okay? So, anyway, I'm like a greasy mess. I'm sorry. But again, this is all I'm trying to embrace, different things. I'm not my body. I'm beyond space and time, and you know, this is how I'm playing it, how I look sometimes. It's hot and it's been humid, and I could probably do with a shower. I've been spraying myself with water, so that's reflecting, and that's reflecting. You can see that with how my hair and everything looks, but it is what it is. If I'm bothered and insecure about this, which I know you can tell I am since I'm talking about it, there's opportunity to work on myself, which I will do. In fact, as I'm saying this, I'm throwing Eric the frisbee, and saying, I'm believing lies from ego. Take this, clean it up for me, replace it with truth. I'm willing to allow what is real to take over. So, and I'll do further work on that too. But I just, even as I'm saying this, I'm still doing it in my head. Even just that brief blip like that. It's not the full on thing that I tend to do where it's like every step, but even that you can do, even just a quick little like throw, believing lies from ego, take it, clean up for me, replace it with truth, willing to allow what's real to take over. That is even effective. That's doing something. It's a matter of the fact that you're acknowledging it, you're feeling it, you're embracing it, you surrender it, and then you open yourself up to letting what's real take over. So it's happening. And thank you to those of you who continue to support me. And thank you to those of you who help give me these reminders when I need it. Because guys, I resist it too. And anyone who has been following me over the past several years, and anyone who knows me IRL, you guys know I have my moments. I have my breakdowns. I have my temper tantrums. I have my shit. I have my judgments. I have my ego. I'm very aware of them. But that's just it. I'm aware of them. I embrace them. And I work on them. So even the resistance, fully embrace that. When I feel resistant, I embrace it. And then I admit I'm fucking resistant right now. But that's when I really always, but I really appreciate the pushback in those moments. Because I need it then. Need it. So, all right. Thanks, you guys, for watching, listening. I hope this is helpful. I know it's a little repetitive from the last couple videos I've made, but it just feels really significant to talk about this, and I'm getting the prompt too, so I am. And like I said, these are reminders for myself, because at the end, zooming out, it's all about me. This is my movie I'm making up. So, and I recognize that, and I'm working on it. All right. Thanks, you guys, for watching, for listening. I love you all very much. And as always, have a wonderful now.